It was a regular Monday night. I had just gotten home from work around 8 p.m., tired but ready to relax. Since my divorce a few months ago, my evenings had become quiet and empty. The house felt too big now, too still. So, I filled that silence the only way I knew how, gaming with my friends online until late. It had become my nightly routine, and honestly, I didn't mind it. It helped me forget how lonely the house had started to feel. That night, a big storm was supposed to roll in. There were even flash flood warnings showing up on my phone, but around here, that wasn't anything new. They sent those out almost every time it rained. So, I didn't think much of it. Around 11 p.m. I was in the middle of a match with my friends, when this sudden violent gust of wind hit the side of my house so hard, it made the windows rattle and the whole place shake. I lifted one side of my headset, trying to listen. I could hear the rain pounding against the windows, the frame creaking under the pressure, and the wind howling outside like it was alive. Before I could say anything to my friends about it, my monitor flickered. The lights in my room blinked out for a second, then came back on. I saw I was still connected to the call and asked if they could still hear me, but before anyone could answer, everything just went dark. My computer shut off. Every light in the house was gone. The hum of the PC fans, the faint sound of the storm outside, it all disappeared for a moment, leaving only pitch-black silence. I couldn't even see my hands in front of me. I felt around the desk until I found my phone and turned on the flashlight. The dim glow barely reached a few feet in front of me. Annoyed, I got up and made my way downstairs, planning to check if maybe the power had gone out in the whole neighborhood. At the front window, I tried to see outside, but the rain was falling so heavy that I could barely make out anything beyond the porch. It was hard to tell if anyone else had lost power. Most houses were dark at that hour anyway. I typed a quick message to my gaming group, letting them know I'd probably be offline for the night. Using my phone light, I carefully made my way down to the basement to grab my old backup battery bank. It wasn't much, but it could power a lamp or two, enough to make the place a little less unsettling. As I reached the basement floor, I started to hear faint noises from the back corner, where a pile of old boxes sat stacked up. It sounded like something shifting slightly, but right then a gust of wind shook the house again, and I figured it was just the storm. I grabbed the battery bank and hauled it back upstairs. Plugging in a small lamp in the living room, I finally got some faint, warm light. For some reason, I've always hated sleeping when the power's out. It makes the whole house feel different, like it's alive but holding its breath. So, I decided I'd stay up for a while, maybe until the lights came back on. I opened the blinds and sat down on the couch, scrolling through YouTube on my phone, using mobile data since the Wi-Fi was down. An hour or so passed, and curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to see how bad the storm was now. I stepped onto the porch under the overhang and looked around. Rain was still coming down hard, but I noticed something strange. The houses across the street still had power. A few had lights glowing softly in the windows. That didn't make sense. Why was my place the only one out? I checked online for any power outage reports nearby, but nothing came up. When I went back inside, my phone buzzed. It was a new text message from an unknown number. The message said something about downed power lines in my area and to expect temporary outages. There was no name or company ID, just a plain message. That struck me as odd, but I brushed it off. Maybe it was some kind of automated alert I hadn't seen before. I sat back down, still watching the storm through the window while letting random YouTube videos play on my phone. But then, I heard something. It was faint, coming from the other side of the house. It sounded exactly like a single footstep on the old wooden stairs that led to the basement. My heart dropped instantly. I knew that sound. The stairs always creaked in that specific way when someone stepped on them. I stood up quietly, holding my phone out in front of me like a flashlight, trying to listen again. The air felt heavier suddenly. I walked slowly toward the hallway, careful not to make the floor creak under me. When I turned the corner and pointed my light toward the basement door, I froze. The door was wide open. I was certain I hadn't left it that way. I had closed it after bringing up the battery bank. My hand was shaking as I aimed the light down the stairs, but all I saw was darkness swallowing the bottom steps. There was no way I was going down there, not during a blackout. I closed the door and tried to shake off the uneasy feeling that was starting to build up in my chest. Thunder flashed through the windows, lighting up the room for a second, and I caught a glimpse of my reflection, pale and tense. I took a deep breath and told myself I was overreacting. The wind and the storm were just making the house creak. But that little voice in my head kept saying something wasn't right. Then it happened. Heavy, rapid footsteps came crashing up the basement stairs. The sound was so sudden and violent, it made my entire body jolt. It was like someone was sprinting straight toward the door. Without thinking, I lunged forward and slammed my shoulder against it, just as the footsteps reached the other side. The impact shook the frame. Whoever was down there hit the door, trying to push through, throwing their weight against it again and again. I could hear them grunting softly, the wood vibrating with every hit. The door didn't have a lock. I pressed my whole body against it, trying to hold it closed while my mind raced. I didn't know what else to do. My phone was still in my hand, and I quickly opened it, dialing for help. As soon as the call started ringing, the pounding stopped. Silence, just the sound of the storm outside again. Then I heard slow footsteps moving back down the stairs. My hands were shaking. I backed away, keeping my eyes on the door. The moment I heard the dispatcher's voice, I told them someone had broken into my house. They sent officers right away. I grabbed my car keys, ran outside in the rain, got in my car, and drove across the street. From there, I waited, watching my own dark house. Police arrived within minutes. 3 officers went in with flashlights, searching every room. After about 10 minutes, one of them came out and told me the back door had been left open, but no one was inside. Whoever it was had already gotten away. Later, I told them about the strange text I'd received before everything started. They checked it out and confirmed it wasn't from any power company. It came from a regular personal phone number. Whoever this person was, they somehow knew my number. They knew I'd be home alone during the storm. The theory was that the intruder shut off my power on purpose, then sent the fake text so I wouldn't think to go check the breaker in the basement, where he was waiting. That thought still makes my skin crawl. There was no outage, no downed lines, just someone who planned it all out and used the storm as cover. The police never found out who it was or why he picked my house. No fingerprints, no sign of forced entry, nothing. Just a fake text message and a night I'll never forget. Even now, whenever the wind picks up and the lights flicker, I can't help but think about that night, and about how close I might have been to meeting whoever was standing in my basement waiting for me in the dark.